a shot of Wi Fi trapped in algo land. As a content creator, I've been naive and concerned about your attention, not just the span of it, the depth of it. Naive because I expect you to return and for newcomers to show up in droves. Concerned because if your attention can only contain shots like espresso, would you enjoy the lingering layers of a luscious chai? More metaphors on the way. So, who is to blame? Is it the barista and shot glass for the measure of pour? Or the collective appetite, since so many are hooked up to the Kool Aid? According to Priory Data 2025, around 5.2 billion users use social media worldwide, which is around 64% of the global population. Facebook remains the largest social media platform with over 3.15 billion monthly active users. Some stats: YouTube is a second largest social media platform with over 2.5 billion active users. Instagram has over 2 billion active users, making it the fourth largest social media platform. And TikTok has surpassed 1 billion active users, becoming one of the fastest growing social media platforms. So, globally, people spend an average of 2 hours and 23 minutes per day on the socials. I reckon it's more. But anyway, mobile devices account for 98% of social media usage time, with desktop usage accounting for only 2%. The most popular social media activities include watching videos, that's 82%, surprise, surprise, reading news, 76%, and interacting with friends and family, 72%. So, have these stats surprised you at all? They haven't surprised me. I know you like your shots, but I'd like to tempt you with a stirring, slurping, long flute or deep bowl, dependent on your choice of crockery, of blended to perfection chai ingredients. The kind to keep you lingering for longer in a cafe for a reflective conversation, even a daydream, but probably only because you got a shot of Wi Fi and a longer scroll. Would you linger for longer than a viral TikTok skit with Wi Fi accessible anywhere as long as you have an antenna, your device? You are ready to port. And it's two-way. A cycle of absorption of clickbait data, often propaganda, your consent manufactured and radiated into every vein of the collective consciousness, churning and then turning into humans acting out in a myriad of disruptive and unconscious ways. With your device's antenna always active, do you ever intentionally search for pieces like this? Perhaps your feed brought me up. Sound unceremonious like a reversal of peristalsis. Hopefully, you weren't induced and are instead glad to have found this Substack piece doubling up as an episode of my Systems and Questions podcast. Then there's the few on the path of digital minimalism choosing to routinely shut down their devices and tune out to recover their agency and command of their minds. But that's not the majority being intentional with their consumption. Instead, ingesting whatever immediately flashes across their screen the moment the features and contours of their face are caught by the camera lens, recognizing that expression of hunger for dopamine, the camera lens living beside them as they sleep, cry, eat, self pleasure, spy, binge, hit, scream, paint, poo, view. Is your viewing challenging you or seeking agreement like a fairy tale marriage? You know the type that rom-coms sold us, the type without any change or flux. Both actors frozen in time, but also growing old, having babies and grandbabies. Their thinking staying the same, perfectly complementary, with thinking always aligned and in agreement, there's no challenge to confront. That spell has now pivoted to induce you into never being happy and forever confronting every mishap as being catastrophic to your individual identity. Why? Well, if the rom-com ideal is done, it's far more beneficial to have a population of miserable users owned by their need for screens, for constant hits from an app, a shop, a skit, or to mobilize against a minority. Realizing the conditioning being drilled by Hollywood propagandists and now a cult of AI influenced pseudo intellectuals and so called influencers will have us all shudder when reflecting on our life choices. We've been scammed. Occasionally, a protest or podcast clip will envelop your screen, horrifying you and shattering your comforting worldview. What is this? There are others who don't consume the same narrative as I, not equally vexed and volatile. Different stories, but the same result: disappointment and disenchantment. And it's this phenomena that provides online intellectuals with the most fertile ground, a disappointed and disenchanted demographic in need of an ideological home. YouTube content creator Cole Hastings, whose strapline is promoting nuanced ideas in a digital world of extremes, in a recent video on pseudo intellectualism looking at the decline in literacy rates. He explores how algorithms are designed to exploit human psychology in order to thrive. So called intellectuals are grabbing the attention of as many eyeballs as possible through short form, soundbite, and slogan content. The content consumed is less about depth, but more about the intensity of the words used. Social media algorithms reward extremist, emotional behavior, which then creates positive reinforcement loops between creator and platform. In systems thinking, when examining situations, we investigate if a reinforcing loop is present and how it amplifies the original change or occurrence, leading to exponential growth or decline. As a content creator, my concern is the decline in the audience's ability to reflect, to confront challenge, and to question these so called intellectuals on pods and viral clips. This dependency on so called experts who haven't been vetted isn't ever questioned. The qualification is a high quality camera lens and sound quality with the speaker looking off camera, probably speaking to their fridge. We'll happily purchase what they recommend and we'll reward, even admire them for being algo soldiers, influencers, and creators dedicated to the demands of the algorithm. They're so great, they upload every day and they make so much money. These are our ideals. Priority Data 2025 tells us how influencer marketing on social media is a rapidly growing industry, projected to have reached $16.4 billion in 2022. Social media advertising revenue was expected to surpass $258 billion in 2022, with Facebook and Instagram accounting for the largest share. Social commerce, e commerce via social media platforms, has gained popularity with an estimated $492 billion in sales globally recorded in 2022. The message for creators: don't miss out on this opportunity. If you do, you'll be left behind. Behind what? What is in front? Sales engines? Lately, I'm hesitating before I Google. Being a Xennial, I recall back in the day having to write a list of things I'd need to research when I'd next be sat at my desktop. The device in my handbag was a Blackberry, probably. I've also recently demoted Amazon on my phone after removing payment method. Digital minimalism is a process, and I'll be talking more about the analog renaissance in future pieces and episodes. So if you haven't already, go ahead and please do subscribe and follow. So, my process is to, instead of immediately searching for an item on Amazon or looking to an idea on YouTube, make a mental note or a physical one in my field notes. Instead of getting captivated by another screen scroll, I'll make a note and then return to consciousness. Most of the time, the idea or item I would have desperately, immediately need to look up is inconsequential. And the more this process is repeated, I found only consequential curiosity rises to the top, and my tangible paper and pen notebook holds fewer to dos. This process of digital minimalism is a reason why I streamlined my content creation across all channels and platforms. My creation process begins with 95% of my workflow now taking place offline rather than being initiated by a talking to the screen short form video. Now it usually starts with my field notes or my MSc research, any reflection, study, reflecting on the news, spotting patterns in communications, my comms practitioner work, jotting down ideas, reflecting some more, spending a lot of time in nature, cooking, writing, editing, publishing, and then recording. Avoiding short form content and relying on higher quality long form content has, as a consumer and creator, has driven me to seek out hard copy data, or at least data with a lower threshold of algorithm meddling. An online intellectual with a big following, an algo soldier, isn't the source of my ideas or the first front for research. But my concern for many is that it is. The algo soldier is the first port of call. I think it's time we confront the truth that the online spaces we believed were advancing our thinking have shrunken our ability to think and to think critically, and have morphed into self-affirming echo chambers. Yes, that includes the long commentary pods you routinely tune into, not mine, of course. And our over-reliance on AI providing quick solutions is making the shot of espresso look like a three-course meal. We are all, Alice, lost and trapped and needing a potion or a key to break free from Algoland. And that potion and that key is what I'd like my content to be. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Systems and Questions. I am Serena Syed Hussain, and you'll find me in the next episode. Please feel free to listen to the previous ones. And if you are listening anywhere other than YouTube, then do that thing, where you have to rate it and review it. It'll really help me out. Otherwise, sub on YouTube. That'd be awesome. And I'll catch you soon.